Hi, everybody. I'm Bruce Beck, along with the coach. Welcome to Our Football with Chris Ash. Well, Chris, it was missed opportunities and some interceptions which really hurt you in the ball game against Penn State.
Yeah, it was disappointing. I thought our players played with a lot of heart and a lot of effort. Really proud of the defensive effort on Saturday. I thought we played one of the best games we've played in a long time here. I think we continue to play well on special teams. We ran the ball exceptionally well on offense. It's just the missed opportunities and turnovers that killed us.
McSorley was only 17 for 37. Pretty good job by all of those guys back there in the secondary.
Yeah, our secondary played exceptional, especially Isaiah Wharton. He was in one-on-one situations a lot and made some big-time plays. I got a lot of respect for Trace, but I thought our guys played exceptionally well in the back end.
The fact that you guys were able to run the football so successfully, and you have over the past several weeks, 188 yards on the ground, what does it say about your offensive line and your overall skills?
They're getting better. You know, our offensive line is playing a lot better right now. Our running backs are hitting the holes hard. I think the offensive staff is doing a good job of scheming people up each week and giving them some different looks that they haven't seen. So with the combination of those things, I think we've been productive. And that's our strength right now, is being able to run the ball. We have to be able to turn that into points, so.
17 first downs in the game, and again, that would translate to maybe more points, so is that the next step in your mind?
Oh, absolutely. It's all about points. We can run the ball for 300 yards, we can throw for 300 yards, but if we don't put points on the board, it's going to be tough to win games, and that's what we have to start to do.
Raheem Blackshear, 22 carries, 102 yards. Is he better when the workload goes up?
You know what? He played exceptionally well the other day. The week before it was Isaiah. The week before it was Blackshear. So it's kind of back and forth, and I really love that about our running backs right now. They feed off of each other. We put them in different situations. It's fun to watch. I love watching them practice. I love watching them prepare, and on game day, you just don't know whose day it's going to be.
In the touchdown drive, which was 9 plays, 65 yards, Blackshear carried the ball 5 times and looked like he was just loving every aspect of it.
He was. That's his home state. He's from Pennsylvania, so he wanted to go out and play with a little extra energy and focus on Saturday, and he did just that. But I just love the energy he brings every single day. He loves football. He practices so hard. He's exciting to watch on game day.
Isaiah Pacheco, 18 carries, 53 yards. Is he getting better? Because he's still a kid, remember?
Yeah, he's young, but he is getting better. He's a strong runner. He's still learning all the time. Every game's a new game. Every time it's a different defense, it's something new for him, but he's getting a lot better.
And Jonathan Hilliman finished with 5 carries for 30 yards. Has he been a pro this year when you look at the senior leadership coming from him being a transfer?
John's been awesome in a lot of regards. I mean, he's been awesome in the room. He's been awesome in the locker room. On the practice field, he's been great. He has a role with his football team.
Short yardage, right?
He has embraced that role. He gets the tough yards. He comes in for pass protection. And I can't say enough good things about John. I hope he has an opportunity to go on and play football beyond here because he's deserving of it.
How about the guttiness and the leadership of Gio Ricchino coming off the bench and igniting you in the second half?
Yeah, Gio's just Mr. Selfless. You know, he's all about our football team, whatever he can do to help the team. When we said, hey, you're up, he was ready to go, and he went in and did some good things.
Trevor Morris finished with 10 tackles in the ball game. He is one of 3 players at Rutgers who has 100-plus tackles in 3 different years. That's a lot to be proud of.
That's impressive. That's a really impressive stat. That's hard to do. There's a lot of things that go into it, not only just film study and practice preparation, but taking care of your body. And right now in his senior year, I feel he is as healthy as he has been in the last 3 years because he's learning how to do that.
Deontay Roberts had 10 tackles in the game. Did you think he was solid?
Oh, yeah. Deontay, both him and Trevor had an outstanding game, in my opinion. We were doing a great job of stop and run. There were a few things we could have done a little bit better to even improve the performance, but those 2 guys were very solid on Saturday.
Tyreek Maddox-Williams, I made a lot of notes, Coach, during this game. He had a tackle for a loss, and he played extremely well at a very high level.
He did. He continues to play better and better. He's playing fast. He's tackling well. I'm very excited about his future. He has a few more years to go here, so if he continues to grow and improve, he's going to be an outstanding linebacker.
One of your seniors, Muhammad Wainwright, doesn't get a lot of time, but plays on special teams and made a beautiful individual tackle.
Absolutely. He actually came in for Isaiah Pacheco after Isaiah was dinged up on the opening kickoff return. We didn't want to put him out there on special teams anymore. Muhammad actually came to me before the game and said, Coach, whatever you need me to do, I'm ready. We put him in there, and he went down, got a great pin him, great tackle on the kickoff, and just started the second half on a positive note.
Does Muhammad typify what your seniors did for you who were honored at the ball game?
Absolutely, and it's really the type of culture that we want in the locker room and on this football team, that they're selfless, that they're willing to do anything they can to help the football team win. Muhammad does that, and I can't thank him enough for that.
So, Coach, as we go to break, we're going to get ready for our next piece on Kevin Wilkins. What are your thoughts about what he has meant to this program? Because this story is amazing.
It really is. It's an amazing story. When I first got here and started to get to know Kevin, I didn't know about his story. And when I did find out about it, see what he's been through, where he started and where he's at today, it's really impressive. He has really grown up. He's matured. He's going to be very successful. And you know, not everybody can go through the history and all the things he has and end up being successful on the other end of it. But to Kevin's credit, he's going to be.
So coming up next on Our Football with Chris Ash, Rutgers version of The Blind Side with Kevin Wilkins. What a journey. Stick around.
It's times like these when you've got to stay centered. The 2018 Nissan Rogue, with available Pro Pilot Assist that can help keep you centered in your lane. Experience it only at your local Nissan store. Now the most exciting tech you own is in your driveway.
Get to Nissan, proud supporter of college athletics.
Kozlovsky, Mr. Kozlovsky. Sanchez, Miss Sanchez. Scarlett, Scarlett, Scarlett Knight.
RWJ Barnabas Health and Rutgers University Athletics are proud to partner together as we bring better health to all the communities we serve. RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together.
Like I said, he was mama's boy, so he was always behind me. I couldn't go nowhere, couldn't do nothing. If I left out the door, he was going with me. If I laid down, he up next to me. Like if I moved out the bed, he'd wake up. He'd wake up now. He was good. Well, with 4 kids, it was rough. I mean, we was like family thing. The only thing with us being the family, I got 3 different daddies. I had a problem with them not taking care, because I never depended on nobody, you know, to help me. Like, do anything. Never asked. I did hair. You know, I made money. My mom and dad always helped me out. But I didn't like that. Like I said, it was good, just up until my addiction part.
You know, normal childhood, I guess you could say. Moving around from home to home, and obviously you guys knew at the time that my mother was a drug addict while we were with her. So, you know, we lived in a couple of her friends' houses. You know, at the time, we switched from my grandparents' houses. We actually lived in Englewood in Patterson with my mother for a while. So we're kind of going from house to house a little bit during her addiction, you know. And at that time, like as a young kid, you don't really know, like, what is actually happening, or, you know, all I know is that my mom kind of looked different certain times. Like, you know, she never really did it like in front of us. It was something that was done behind closed doors.
Because it was coke first. Then learned how to cook it up, and then it went from that to that. See, I did base. I didn't even do crack. I did free base. Because, you know, I did the coke, because that's what I was doing from the beginning. So I didn't worry about nothing. Like, I didn't care about, I mean, I cared, but I didn't care. You know, that's what it does to your brain. It takes away or the stuff that you're going through only for a minute now. It ain't like it lasts a long time, because it don't last a long time. It's like you get up the next day, the problem that you did it for is still there the next day. Then it makes you do more, because it makes you forget just right then and there. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's what it did. That's what it did. I mean, it killed me, believe me.
I would like you to describe when Child Services came and grabbed him. You could describe that night for me.
Jesus.
Up until the time that we got taken away, I don't remember too much. I just remember that day so vividly that, all right, random people just walked into our house, put our clothes in bags, and they're just telling us to come with them. And that's kind of like the last thing I remember up until that point.
Kevin was in the living room with me. I was doing hair. He was back sitting next to me, really. So when they came in, you know, they said what they said, and, you know, they was taking them, and the reason why they was taking them, and, you know, told me to go. So I told them to go upstairs, get the clothes, put them in the bag, put it in the black bag, and they took them out of there.
She knew what was going on, we didn't. I cried so hard that I puked in the car on my way to the first home. My brother, sister, my brother Jonathan and Jasmine, we were all split up in different cars. So the first home I went to was Patterson. My sister went somewhere else and my brother went somewhere else. Like, we didn't even know where we were going. I couldn't talk to my mom because I would act out. They cut visitation for that reason. I jumped out of a car and on the highway in traffic and tried to run back to my mom, and that was my last visitation. And that had to be when I was like 6 or 7 years old. They cut visitation for a really long time.
Well, I owned a gym in Sparta, a little small personal training gym, athletic training center. And the group home that they had established in our town had asked if we could take some of the kids over and have them join the class and get some exercise and just, you know, some socialization after school. And I walked into work and I looked over and, you know, being a very highly white town, I looked at my daughter and I said, "Who's he? Where'd he come from?" And she said, he's in a group home in Sparta. And, you know, I said, "Well, are his parents?" And she goes, "No, he doesn't have parents."
That's when I first started getting involved in sports and stuff like that. I was a little chubby at the time, so I was like, "Listen, we know a facility where you can go train, you know, lose some weight, start wrestling." Because at first I started wrestling. I didn't play football first, I wrestled first.
They asked, you know, he would like to stay for more and more classes. Would that be okay? And, you know, obviously we said, sure, he can just stay as long as he wants, don't worry about it. And the funding was kind of difficult to get. So after a while we just said, just bring him, leave him. If he likes it here, you know, have fun. But it was at that moment when I met him and seeing him in the class and seeing how much fun he had, and I just couldn't get him off my mind.
I don't know why it was getting shut down, but it was I was there for 2 years, and that year, once my adoptive family became big brother, big sister, I was hanging out with them a lot more. The group home was shutting down, and they asked, like, would you guys want to take Kevin in? And they immediately said, yeah.
I could make the difference. I was the turning point at that point, you know, to really let his life go in this direction or that direction. And I thought, all right, you know, God, it's in your hands now.
I was around people who were athletes, so I'm like, I guess I'm gonna have to start playing a sport, to fit in here. You know, I started out with wrestling, I started out with football. If you're gonna do sports, you gotta make sure you do well in school. You know, I thought just playing sports would be fine. You know, I didn't really think of me going to a Division I school at the time until I got a little older and went to high school. But it was definitely a different transition for me, family-wise. You know, I wasn't used to a lot of things, but you know, my mom instilled a lot of good things in me.
I think it was a really extremely hard situation on my kids to go through what we went through after the split up with their father. And I had nowhere to go, but I knew I had to get me and the kids out of the situation. So, you know, at that point, I remember being in the parking lot and just seeing them all look to me as the captain of the ship, you know, the commander-in-chief. And if I was crying and I lost it, what happens to them?
I have already been through something very, very tragic. So for my brother and sister, for me, I was kind of being that person that can be like, listen, we're gonna be all right. We're gonna be fine. This is like the first real like test in their life that they had to go through. And it hurt them, it hurt all three of them. I mean, it hurt me too, because I'm like, listen, I went from this bad situation to a good situation, back to a bad situation. Obviously living out of my mom's car is not ideal at all. It's like hardship, good, hardship, hardship for a long time. And it's just like, at what point are things gonna start going good for me?
Rasheen went to a wrestling match at Hackensack High School, which it was, Hackensack High School was 1, 2, 3, like 4 blocks away from where I lived. I knew Kevin was going there to wrestle.
Ever since pretty much my brother pretty much got taken away, man, I always told him that I'm never gonna let him get too far. I pretty much just chose to really go forth with it. Make sure I know where he's at, make sure I try to be at certain events because I'm also an athlete and I know he's gonna be in the area, so I made it my duty to pretty much just try to pull up all the time.
First, I'm skeptical because I'm like, I don't know how I'm gonna react. I haven't seen my mother in God knows how long, you know? And then the last time that they cut visitation was when I had a mental breakdown because I'm like, all right, you guys keep taking me from my mom. What do you want me to do at this point in my life? Like, I just want to be with her. He's like, I was like, you know what? Let's go. I'm 16 at the time. I'm like, let's do it.
I'm like, who that dude bringing in here like that? Like Kevin? I was like, Kevin who? Not thinking my son Kevin, because I thought he just had somebody walk from around the barbershop with him. He was like, your son, and all I did, I stumbled backwards. Like he had to grab me, and I just hugged him and held on to him and just started crying. Like, I'm like, oh my God, like I'm like, and Rasheen started laughing, and Kevin was laughing, but he was holding me. I was like, oh, and I just kept looking up at him like, Kevin?
How many people have been in this situation, and growing up you start to realize there's actually a lot more people in this situation than you think, you know, and not everyone always gets to find their mom and see their mom again. And for me, my oldest brother was the link. My oldest brother Rasheen and my grandparents at the time would always call me, always check in on me.
How was that, finding out that he had been adopted? How did that feel for you?
I felt a little crazy about it, but you know, I didn't know the family, so it was like, okay, so I guess I won't be seeing him. You know, because I didn't know them. But like I said, my mom, as far as her saying, you know, she said they were good people. So, because if they wasn't, they wouldn't let her talk to them.
At first, it was a little tough, and I needed to be a protector of him at that time, and I needed to make sure that this would not disrupt everything that I was trying to do in his life.
You know, we met, and you know, from there it just went to me and her being friends. And once I started like getting to know her, it was like, okay, she cool, because I'm a down-to-earth person, you know, and whatever works for Kevin, that works for me. And if that's what it takes for me and her to get along, then that's what it took. And that's what he wanted, because once he found, like, if that started happening, it made him feel real good. Like I said, that's like my sister, you know, I love her.
The relationship I have with Della, his biological mother, is great now.
Well, we are one. Like I tell her, oh, that's my thing. I tell her that. It ain't no them and no, it's us. It's one. That's ours. He belonged to us. Anything I address, it be our son.
Okay, big bro. Go, big bro.
Very, very overexcited, proud. Like, I just never thought that he would be where he at after all that he's been through. Like, this is a true, exciting moment. Like, for real, never, I don't know, just never imagined that I would be here watching my baby, you know, but he made it real far.
Words can't even express how proud I am. I can't even believe it's so overwhelming that this is the last time I'm going to be in this stadium for his home game, his senior year, all of what we've been through to get him here. So proud. I don't even know what more to say. It's overwhelming. It's emotional.
Kozlovsky, Mr. Kozlovsky. Sanchez, Miss Sanchez. Scarlett, Scarlett, Scarlett Knight.
RWJ Barnabas Health and Rutgers University Athletics are proud to partner together as we bring better health to all the communities we serve. RWJ Barnabas Health. Let's be healthy together.
You got me falling hard, sweet baby, you got me falling hard for you. And still, I felt this way before, you know it's true. And still, you got me more and more. Oh, you got me falling hard.
The R Play of the Game is sponsored by Nissan, Intelligent Mobility. The Intelligent Mobility Play of the Week, the interception by Isaiah Wharton. In excellent position, and he showed some athleticism.
Absolutely. I thought Isaiah played an outstanding game Saturday. He was in that position a lot. On that particular play, he was isolated one-on-one, play action, deep post down the middle. They both went up for the ball. It was tipped, and he came down with it. It was a great individual effort by him. Just so happy for him to be able to do that on senior day here in his last game. And it just really helped the football team. It was a much-needed play at that time and gave us an opportunity to keep going in the game.
He's done a lot of this year, hasn't he, Coach?
Absolutely. He's had a great senior year, both in the run game and in the pass game. You know, you don't hear his name a lot as a corner. Sometimes that's good because he's not getting beat. He just quietly goes about doing his job every single play. He's been Mr. Consistent the whole season.
In addition to being consistent, he's knowledgeable, and that's why it figures in beautifully with the intelligent play, right?
A very intelligent player. He's smart, he's tough, he's dependable, and you know what you're going to get from Isaiah every single game.
Isaiah Wharton, well done, intelligent.
It's times like these when you've got to stay centered. The 2018 Nissan Rogue, with available Pro Pilot Assist that can help keep you centered in your lane. Experience it only at your local Nissan store. Now the most exciting tech you own is in your driveway.
Get to Nissan, proud supporter of college athletics.
You got me falling hard, sweet baby, you got me falling hard for you. And still, I felt this way before, you know it's true. And still, you got me more and more. Oh, you got me falling hard.
This segment of the show is sponsored by RWJ Barnabas Health.
Hi, I'm Dr. Yvette Rooks, Chief Medical Officer, RWJ Barnabas Health, Sports Medicine at Rutgers. And I'm here to talk to you about health tip number 1. Fall is coming, and fall means the weather's going to change a little bit. And as you're out there exercising, remember to dress in layers. And so as you sweat, you can take layers off or put layers on. We don't want you to overheat because you can still suffer from heat illness, although the fall weather is coming.
This game preview is sponsored by highpoint.com. Season finale, Rutgers at Michigan State this Saturday, 4 o'clock on Fox. That is a big national audience and a great opportunity for you, Chris.
Yeah, we're excited to finish the season on national television. We're going up against a great opponent on the road here in the Big Ten in November. And what more can you ask for is an opportunity to showcase your program and hopefully go out and get a victory.
Brian Lewerke is the veteran quarterback, but he is facing an injury. He's been battling that shoulder. Last week it was Rocky Lombardi at QB. How do you prepare? 2 guys?
Well, they're very similar. Their offense isn't going to change. They are who they are. They're going to do what they do. It's just a matter of who's back there behind the center. You know, they're both big guys. They both got strong arms. They both can run. And I think they're both good players, so it doesn't really matter.
Coach, what about their defense? They bring a lot of pressure.
Yeah, they play fast, they're physical, they're very strong up front. They do blitz a lot. They'll bring their 2 inside backers, they'll bring their corner and linebackers off the edge quite a bit. A lot of disruptive plays. They've done that for a number of years, and I've always been impressed with the way they play defense.
So how important is this game in terms of trying to build something for the offseason?
It's just like these past few games. It's improve, 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 and try to play your best football at the end of the season so you can't go into the offseason on a positive note. And that's where we're at right now. I think we've played a lot of good football here as of late. We need to do that again against Michigan State.
Your defense has really taken a big step forward in the last 3 football games. Do you expect that to continue?
Yeah, we need it to continue, and that's something we need to build on as we go down the road. I want this to be a defensive football team. You know, I'm a defensive coach, and I want to play well on defense. We have been doing that. I think we're playing as well on defense as we have in a long time here, and we need to continue to build on that and do it again on Saturday.
I love y'all boys. Family on 3. 1, 2, 3. Hey.
And finally, how about the seniors, their last opportunity to wear the school colors? You think they'll be pumped up?
Yeah, they'll be excited. You know, these guys have done a lot for this program. They mean a lot to us and the other guys in the locker room. We really want to just continue to play better and better for them.
Is it hard to believe that the season is here, down to the final game?
Oh, it is.
It went fast.
It's gone really fast. It really has. And I even reflect on the seniors that have been here just for 3 years with us. Their careers have flown by. It's just an unbelievable journey that they've been on, but how fast that journey's gone is incredible.
Hey, we're still back next week for another show, but for today, that's it. Coach, good luck to you at Michigan State.
Thanks, Bruce.
That's it for this edition of Our Football with Chris Ash. We will see you next week.